Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Naja Atutijani. Remember that this broadcast is also being streamed live on our website, nta.ng/live. You can catch the replay on our YouTube channel, and do kindly follow all our social media handles for more updates. President Bola Tinubu is asking religious leaders to intensify national reorientation of the Nigerian people towards strengthening the bond of unity in the country. The president said this when he received members of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs led by Sultan Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar, who is the President General of the Council. The Council also called on the president to continue to work in the interest of the people.
What has brought you here?
Yes, thank you very much. The Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, under the leadership of His Eminence the Sultan of Sokoto and the President General, is here to pay a courtesy call on Mr. President, to appreciate him for what he's doing for the nation, and to also advise him as to what the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs feels should be done to make sure that it continues to rule with transparency, with honesty, with equity, to the benefit of all members of this great country of ours. We feel that the right way to do is to advise Mr. President not to go through a third party. We believe God will continue to strengthen him to make it possible for him to continue to serve this great nation.
He has accepted all the words of advice they've offered him. He has also asked them to continue to engage, to continue to dialogue. And Mr. President has also asked them to be in the forefront of the national reorientation, which is one of the pillars of his administration. He has asked them to go back to areas of conflict. You recall that the Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence, was also in Niger to engage with the military junta there. He has asked them to continue to go back in the spirit of his belief that only dialogue, only engagement can end crises across the world.
Meanwhile, the federal government is reassessing the state of affairs in northern Nigeria with a view to coming up with robust platforms to address challenges in the region. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this when he received the coalition of Northern States Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, led by its president, Dalhatu Abubakar. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
These are the leading industrialists in the north coming to show their concern on the state of the region. Vice President Kashim Shettima commended the leadership of the delegation for its commitment to development of the north through various industrial projects that can effectively lead to all-round development through partnership with the federal government. He said any society that seeks to achieve economic development must promote peace and stability. The Vice President praised President Bola Tinubu as a visionary and committed Democrat for his passion to seek and achieve development through addressing the challenges of insecurity in the north, especially in the northwest region, through the Placo initiative aimed at addressing the challenges of armed banditry, kidnapping and the situation in the northwest. Leader of the delegation, Dalhatu Abubakar, expressed the readiness of the organization to seek partnership with the federal government towards the revitalization of the economy in the north. In another development, Vice President Shettima has reiterated the value of the traditional institution in the country. He highlighted this while receiving a delegation led by the chairman of the Nasarawa State Council of Chiefs, Justice C. Dibage. Vice President Shettima expressed gratitude to the traditional rulers, the government and people of the state for their love and support to President Tinubu during the last electioneering campaign.
Our loyalty, our support to this administration is 100%. 100% with this government. And we are there in support of all their aspirations, all the good things that they have laid out for this country. We are there to support and let our people know that the best is yet to come for this country. And we are confident because they are people that we know and we know very well, and people that we can give our trust to. We are sure that the tomorrow will be better than today that we have.
From the State House, Abraman Jibrila, NTA News.
Now, agencies in the Ministry of Interior, including new entrant, the National Identity Management Commission, must brace for a new way of doing things, the way of the new minister, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo. Touring agencies under his watch, Tunji-Ojo says his approach will be coordinated, quick, and result-oriented. Victor Azu reports.
Like a child cries to a father, the Acting Controller General of Immigration, Caroline Adekboju, tells him about the many challenges of the service, especially in passport administration and border management.
We want the Honorable Minister to help us to use his good offices to ensure that we have resources to improve upon the welfare of our border patrol officers.
We must embrace technology. Because patrol vehicles, yes, it's good, we invest in things like that. But because of the complexity of our borders, coastal borders, etc., a lot of technology is involved. We have to invest in technology.
At the Nigerian Correctional Service, the Controller General Haliru Nababa brings him up to speed on the service's achievements and challenges.
As at Monday, the 28th of this month, the service had in its custody a total of 28,883 inmates spread across the 263 custodial centers across the country.
And after seeing the state of facilities at the Kuje Medium Custodial Center, the minister expresses determination to bring renewed hope to both inmates and personnel of the Nigerian Correctional Service.
We're not just going to stop in Kuje here. We're going to go to the interiors, because we want to know the living condition of our inmates. We want to see even the working condition of our officers.
The passion and power in the minister's voice is palpable, but it is how well he translates those to results that Nigerians will be waiting to see. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Similarly, the National Human Rights Commission is working with major players in advocating a strategic dialogue towards checkmating human rights violations in Nigeria. Dominating discussions at an engagement between the Commission and relevant stakeholders in addressing current challenges in securing judgment and prosecution of human rights violators in Nigeria.
You keep learning. You don't ever finish learning. You must open your mind up to new ideas every day. NBA body of vice chairmen are all putting together. These three of us are working together to put together this event as part of the activities to mark the 2023 conference of the Nigerian Bar Association.
Every Nigerian now has the local standard to defend the human rights of other Nigerians.
I think the time to do something is now. We will not relent. Government is a continuum.
The engagement is also to leverage new opportunities for the enforcement of the law and promotion of human rights of Nigerians. The Nigerian Bar Association has restated its commitment to giving back to the society through programs such as free medical outreach to avail indigent FCT residents critical health interventions with development partners at the Garki Nisa Hospital, Abuja. Hakimat Aliu reports.
Ramba Association has come to the rescue of indigent residents of the FCT needing surgical procedures such as dental cases, hernia, breast lump, cataract, fibroids, amongst others.
We will also be offering cesarean section for pregnant women whose delivery date would fall within this week and the 8th of September, cases of ear, nose, and throat. We will also be offering free drugs for patients suffering from hypertension and diabetes.
We're more than happy to evaluate every patient, and we're more than happy to operate on any patient that our expertise can. We are also really grateful for the way that we have been greeted here in the hospital and in Nigeria.
At the time of filing this report, it was stated that so far over 162 patients have been seen and 51 surgeries carried out.
I'm very happy. I want to appreciate the organizers of this program. God will continue to bless them. Everything is free of charge. Even the lab investigations that we did yesterday before the surgery this morning was all free of charge.
The exercise commenced 28 August to end 8th of September in Abuja. Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
Still on health, Africa is marking the 2023 Traditional Medicine Day with the theme, Preserving the Past, Empowering the Future. And the Nigerian Natural Medical Development Agency is working towards improving natural medicine for the health of all despite challenges in the areas of research and development. Uche Ugochukwu has more.
Africa is blessed with rich vegetation, most of which are medicinal. Investigation has shown that about 80% of its population are dependent on natural medicine, which is said to be trusted, acceptable, affordable and accessible for basic health care, as attested by Chukwemeka and Lily.
People around me that do take it, they believe in it, that it's like kind of good to their system.
The only thing I don't like about it is since it doesn't have dosage, a lot of people tend to abuse it.
The issues of research, development and regulation have been of great concern in Nigeria. This is also a worry for the Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency, NNMDA.
A lot of things have been done to address it. That is why we have African traditional medicine practitioners in Nigeria. They have an association that helps to control such things. And more work is being done.
And what we do is the development, research and development, just to integrate all the traditional medicine across the nation. We empower them, we encourage them to do more.
The NNMDA organized this roadshow to mark the day and create awareness on the importance of traditional medicine in healthcare delivery. Passers-by like Chukwemeka and Lily see this awareness work as apt, as this will further clear some misconceptions. For decades now, African Traditional Medicine Day has been observed on August 31 to highlight the critical role of traditional medicine in the health and well-being of the people. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
African Traditional Medicine Day coincides with the date 31st August, which the Ministers of Health adopted the relevant resolution at the 50th session of the World Health Organization Regional Committee for Africa in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso in 2000. The theme of this year's day is Traditional Medicine, Research and Development. It draws attention to the need for research and development to enhance the acceptance of traditional medicine in the modern era. We now join via Zoom the Director General, Nigeria Natural Medicine Development Agency, Professor Martins Emeje for more on the prospects and developments in the natural medicine sector in the country. Thanks for joining us via Zoom. Now, over the centuries, natural medicine has been a part of the lifestyle of traditional society. The World Health Organization is calling for countries to look into it. What do you think about that?
Thank you very much. First, let me profusely thank the Nigerian Television Authority for this opportunity that you have given to the Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency to talk about traditional medicine, because traditional medicine development is 1/3 of the mandate that the National Assembly and the President of Nigeria has given to us to ensure that things are done properly. And to also say that the theme for this year's African Traditional Medicine Day is the contribution of African traditional medicine to holistic well-being of all of us. That is the global theme from the WHO for all of us this year. However, an innovative agency like ours, we decided to carve out from that global theme what we call preserving the past and empowering the future as a component that, you know, it's like precision medicine or something we need to do in order to get out of the quagmire where we are right now. So let me therefore say that the truth is we did not need to wait for WHO to tell us anything about traditional medicine, because WHO is not any abstract agent or material from any space now. Is it not all of us that make up WHO? We attend WHO meetings. We are members of expert committees of WHO. So when people talk about WHO say this, WHO say this, WHO say this, you have to do your own. When you do your own, you have your result, then you have something to go to WHO meeting, to go and canvass. When you don't do anything, you are sitting there at home, then people who are working, they will go for WHO meeting, they will go and vote. Let me surprise you. Sometimes decisions at WHO meetings are taken on vote, by democracy, not by science. So they will come and present things that people are doing in different places, then you take decision. So we must do our own. At NNMDA, at the Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency, we are not waiting for WHO to do anything. It is good that the WHO, we like it, we are part of the WHO, but we have moved forward. We have gone further than what WHO is talking about. Okay. So we are today.
Go ahead, Professor.
Today at our agency, both in Abuja and in Lagos, it was filled with different stakeholders: medical doctors, pharmacists, traditional medical practitioners, journalists, community leaders, religious leaders. They filled our compound today. We started 7 a.m. this morning with a 4-kilometer health walk. Then we gathered in our compound, and as I'm talking to you now, I had to leave them in the hall to come and attend to this interview. And we are discussing on how to move our country forward through traditional medicine, because we cannot stay in this country and all the drugs that we are using in this country is being imported. So we don't know what they are bringing. And I'm not talking about what NAFDAC is doing, but we don't know what they are bringing. We are testing what they say they are giving us.
Now, closely related to that, Professor, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was going there. I'd like us to talk about safety and efficacy. But before that, now that you talk about other cultures, how can Nigeria build synergy between orthodox and traditional medicine, which you just talked about, the way it's being done in Asian countries like India and China?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. Fortunately or unfortunately, I trained in India, I trained in China. So I know it very well, very, very well. So I talk from point of information and knowledge. See, the thing is, let us not even disturb ourselves about integration yet. We are fighting one another over integration. When we do the things properly, integration will be natural. Because people will decide where they want to be treated. Nobody will force anybody whether to go for traditional or herbal medicine or to go for allopathic medicine. Allopathic medicine is the Oyibo medicine. So, but if we do what we are supposed to do, people will have the choice. People will see the results of going to traditional medicine, going for traditional medicine, going for allopathic. So, like I decide where to eat my food in a fast restaurant. Like I decide which of the airlines I want to enter. Like I decide what to do because there are options. Right now, there are no options. And our own cultural heritage, which is the way our people have been living before we were born, we are throwing it away because we did not, we fail to realize that that is the real thing, that we should actually apply our knowledge of science and technology or scientific knowledge to making it better. You can see that when you interviewed some people, they were even talking about dosage is a problem. That's because people don't know. One of the things we are doing, we have a college here. Government has approved and accredited a college for us to train people. So that's why one of the things we did today was public sensitization, because dosage is not an issue again at all. We even use nanotechnology in herbal medicine, traditional medicine now. So research and development, which is key, is what will make us come up with the things that are safe, they are effective, they do the work for which we say they are meant to do, then they are stable, then our people can have confidence in it, then people outside our own environment can also have confidence, because we cannot do export. Like I was telling my minister, because I'm very fortunate to have a minister that is coming from the private sector. And I was telling him that, sir, come, support me. Let us do this thing that people don't know. And because they don't know, they are criticizing unnecessarily, so that we can export. When we start exporting,
so very briefly, Professor, very briefly, Professor, I really am sorry to have to cut you there, but you did touch on a little bit of safety and efficacy, and we are running out of time. So very briefly, in light of the peculiarities of traditional medicine, one of which you just touched on, which is dosage, what are the other gaps which need to be addressed briefly, especially since people are saying that there is no regulation, and you've already introduced that?
No, it is wrong to say there's no regulation. We have NAFDAC. NAFDAC has guidelines on all of these things. So to say there's no regulation is not true. Number two, there is even a bill that has passed through the National Assembly and is in the presidency on the council that is supposed to be responsible for regulation of traditional medicine. Is waiting for the president's assent. So it is not true to say there's no regulation. Everything, the truth is that there is no gap in terms of what we are supposed to do. The gap that exists is not what we are supposed to do. It is in the resources that we need. The little, and I'm talking of little, not more than 50 million naira per plant that we want to develop. Not more than 50 million naira per type of service we want to ensure that it is properly standardized and documented per service. Those are the kind of resources we need from individuals, philanthropists, and from government for us to be able to do these things. So there is nobody should tell anybody that there is problem of dosage, there's problem of safety, there's problem of efficacy. No problem at all.
All right, Professor.
Most of the products that we have in the community, they all come from traditional medicine.
Thank you, Professor. It seems we're going to have to invite you for a special program on this topic.
I'm ready.
Thank you very much for for expanding this topic, and we look forward to having you as a guest in one of our many programs. I've been speaking with Professor Martin Zemeje, the Director General of the Traditional Medicine Council. And now, prevalence of kidney disease in Borno State has remained a major source of concern to government, medical service providers and citizens, considering the manner it is spiraling, putting pressure on health institutions, patients and their families. Presentation and diagnosis of chronic kidney disease by patients is often seen as a death wish, considering the fact that many suffering from the disease avoid treatment and dialysis until it's too late, leaving a small window for palliative care and the search for kidney donors with inevitable death. Milka, the madam has the details.
Ito talked about chronic kidney disease in Borno is now a major issue as every family is affected in one way or another, as more in and out patients are being recorded receiving treatment on dialysis or awaiting kidney transplant. It is in these regards that Borno State government approved free dialysis treatment for chronic kidney disease patients at the State Specialist Hospital Maiduguri, and also set up a committee to embark on a research to find causes and lasting solutions to the disease taking its toll on the population.
And now they were planning to go on the second phase, because you cannot conclusively say that these people have chronic kidney disease. You have to also embark on other investigations.
Most of our patients hardly accept to start dialysis at the most appropriate time. And that is actually what is giving us the bad outcome in patients that are on dialysis.
Management of CKD is costly, while treatment is out of the reach of common man, considering search for donor and cost of transplants, which leaves prevention as a plausible solution. In Maiduguri, Milka Lamalam, NTA News.
And Milka Namalam is standing by at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital to tell us more about the life-threatening ailment which is costly to manage and cure and is on the rise in Borno as stakeholders search for a solution. Micah, tell us more about this situation on ground.
Many years ago, people barely talk about chronic kidney disease here in Borno, but the prevalence of the disease has continued to raise concerns among populace, going by the recent statistics, which reveals that about 18% of the state's population are already infected with the disease. About 80 to 100 are seen weekly at the nephrology clinic, with about 5 to 12 new cases. And also about 5 to 10 cases are admitted into the medical ward of the hospital, with children not being an exception. And now, considering the increase in number of cases admitted into the medical ward of the hospital, Senator Ali Dume funded the building of the Kidney Center Extension, where all CKD-related patients will be admitted and managed. And also, Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, has also donated machines for hemodialysis and also some equipment for kidney transplant, which will commence operation soon. Now, here with me to discuss on this worrying challenge is a nephrologist who is the head of Department Medicine, University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, and also the director, Kidney Center. He is Professor Ibrahim Omati. Sir, can you tell us the impacts of increasing number of kidney disease on health services and the society in general?
Yes, it has impacted negatively on the patient himself, on the caregivers, on the society, and the government itself. On the patient is he feels some pains, and then there's absenteeism from work because of the burden of the disease. He comes to hemodialysis almost twice a week, and the caregivers too also absenteeism from work, and then they spend their resources trying to manage these patients. And the government itself is not spared, because these patients that are affected usually are within their productive age group, so there is that lack of productivity in the sector, and here healthcare givers themselves are also stretched because there is understaffing of the healthcare personnel qualified to manage these conditions, and so healthcare personnel also suffers a lot. And you know, we don't manufacture these consumables and the machines, so the government spends enormous resources to go and buy these machines, to buy consumables to manage this, our teeming population of patients. So the government also suffers a lot in this regard.
All right, sir. The state government has approved a certain amount of money and set up a committee to embark on a research to find causes of this disease. And we understand that you're also part of the committee that was set by the government. Can you tell us how far have you gone with the research?
Yes, the government has, the Borno State government in particular, have given 50 million naira as a seed money to do research in finding the causes of chronic kidney disease in this environment, and then to know the root cause of the problem and possibly how many % of our populations are being affected. I'm the principal investigator of this particular project. We have received seed money of about 20 million naira. Using this seed money, we have already found the prevalence, which is about 80% in the Borno State population, which is far way ahead the national prevalence rate of about 12% and the world rate prevalence rate of about 10%. So for 18% in this environment actually is much. So we have found out that the traditional causes of chronic kidney disease in the entire world applies in this Borno State also, like hypertension, intake of traditional medications, intake of drugs over the counter, use of mercury-containing bleaching creams by women, some harmful traditional practices. All these things are implicated. But apart from that, we have found out that the heat in this environment contributes enormously to the higher burden of chronic kidney disease in this environment. Most of our population, they work on sunny environments, and they don't take enough fluids to compensate for what they have been losing through the urine and through perspiration. So these are the things that we have found out now. Although the research is not concluded yet, because we have not received the second installment of the payment, we are still waiting for the second installment. That is what we will use to now look at the genetics of our people to see whether there are some genetic predisposition to chronic kidney disease in this environment. So as it is now, we can say heat contributes a lot to the burden of chronic kidney disease, apart from other traditional causes that we know, like hypertension and others. So we are now waiting for the remaining part of the funds to commence the next stage of the investigation, which is to find out the real genetic aspect of our environment, whether there are genetic causes or not.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. We've now heard it from Professor Umate. Let's not forget that nephrology experts are advising a routine health checkup, especially for people who are at risk. Those who are at risk are those who have family members who are already infected with the disease. It's now back to you, Naja.
Thank you very much, Milka. We've been talking about some of the findings in the reported cases, increased cases of kidney disease in Borno State, and the government's effort to find solutions. It's time for some messages, after which we will join Michael in Lagos. Stay tuned. And unfortunately, we won't be joining Lagos at this moment. Rather, we'll be joining our Just Network Center for more on Nationwide. Can you hear me? It seems we're having a bit of an audio issue with... Oh, all right.
The Acting Inspector General of Police, Kayode Ebetokun, has underscored the importance of industrialization in nation building and the need for synergy among key players in charting ways towards achieving successes and mitigating the effects therein. This was during his presentation at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS, Guru. Caleb Goching has the story.
In a presentation titled Industrialization, Energy Security and Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation, the Role of Police, the IGP notes that the drive towards industrialization requires a reliable and sustainable energy supply. He said the growing challenges of climate change on infrastructure calls for urgent steps to mitigate the development.
Industrialization and energy development projects often lead to rapid urbanization and population growth in specific areas. This can result in increased crime rates due to the challenges associated with managing a larger population, including higher rates of unemployment, poverty, and social inequality.
The IGP tasked the participants to chart a way forward towards shaping the future of the nation as the force strategizes to play its role effectively. The police helmsman notes that industrialization has a huge impact on almost all critical sectors of the polity. Hence, it is critical for all major players to bring their expertise to bear in fulfilling this dream.
The government also needs to develop long-term plans and budgetary allocations to address the issue of inadequate manpower and insufficient equipment in the police force. This entails allocating sufficient resources for equipment and infrastructure development over an extended period to ensure sustainable improvements.
IGP Kayode Egbetukun was guest speaker at the NIPS Defense Week. In Jos, Caleb Gochian, NTA News.
The Jos University Teaching Hospital has unveiled a remodeled ward as part of efforts to strengthen healthcare delivery. Nigerian and Abuja reports.
5 remodeled by Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar Kana, at the Jos University Teaching Hospital, dedicated to eye, ear, nose and throat care, is part of the initiative by the hospital management to collaborate with well-meaning Nigerians to adopt different words and remodel for better health care services. This is to ensure patients have conducive environment while receiving Medicare in the hospital. It is in this light that the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar Kana, lauded the initiative and described JUTH as one of the best quality training institutions in the country. He hopes that his contributions will have multiplier effect in changing the fortunes of the teaching hospital.
You mentioned ICU. This will be my next project. We believe somebody coming to the hospital, they should come to a serene environment.
Chief Medical Director, JUTH, Dr. Bukop Upwada, commended the Permanent Secretary for his resolve to giving back to his alma mater and challenge well-meaning individuals to emulate Dr. Kana's efforts.
We can do something in our little corner to improve the system. If we put the system to work, the system will serve us when we come back as patients.
Former Chief Medical Directors of JUTH and Vice Chancellor University of Jos applauded the initiative that will strengthen healthcare service delivery in the hospital. In Jos, Nigerian and the Abuja, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Najatu.
Thank you, Mary. We're talking girl-child education now. The Adolescent Girl Initiative for Learning and Empowerment Project is a World Bank-assisted federal government of Nigeria's project targeted at improving girl-child education. Kwara State is among the states selected to benefit from the project. And Aisha Abubakar Yahya takes a look at the benefits and what it portends for education in Kwara State.
Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment Project is geared towards improving secondary education opportunities for adolescent girls aged between 10 and 20. The development objective of the project is also to improve secondary education opportunities among girls. Kwara State is one of the few states that have fully paid its counterpart fund and fulfilled all criteria required to benefit from the project.
Part of the criteria for benefiting state is to set up its own data bank. We have the numbers of these out-of-school children, especially with respect to adolescent girls.
When she's mobilized and properly and cautiously trained, our future will be better.
I see it as a very good one, and I know that it will encourage more participation by the girls. So as a parent, it's a welcome development.
It is expected that the project will improve enrollment of girl child in schools while giving them the opportunities to contribute their quota to national development. Aisha Abubakar Yahya, NTA News.
Similarly, no fewer than 350 girls have been empowered by the wife of Ondo State Governor Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, who trained them in various life-changing skills through her Be More Pet project. Ondo State Acting Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, while releasing the young girls into the society, urged them to make the best use of the skills acquired at the boot camp to impact others. Abiola Ario reports.
Summer Boot Camp, an initiative of Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, wife of Ondo State Governor, is positioned to bridge the gender parity gap by educating and empowering the young girls whose testimony is evident in the life of the likes of Faith Aino, the 2023 Be More valedictorian.
I'm going to acquire more knowledge about baking and impact in the society.
The girls were engaged in various programs like information communication technology, ICT, entrepreneurship, renewable energy, menstrual health and hygiene, as well as public speaking and building self-confidence.
With multidimensional training, including skill acquisition, digital entrepreneurial skill, and leadership training you have undergone here, every one of you is definitely going back home as a changed person.
Demand thrives on building capacities as well as building lives. We have since built study bridges across ethnic, religious, and economic boundaries.
Since established in 2017, the program has produced about 3,500 girls in various skills in Akure, Abiola, Rio. NTA News.
It's time now to join our Lagos Network Center. Michael is standing by with more updates. In addition to the federal government palliative currently being distributed in Nasarawa State, the government has provided additional trailer loads of rice, and that report will come right after this break. Stay tuned. It's nice to know you're still watching Nationwide. Charity is in Ibadan with more updates.
Welcome to Ibadan. In line with the measures of Oyo State government under the Sustainable Action for Economic Recovery (SAFER) to mitigate the current hardship, Governor Seyi Makinde has kicked off the food relief component of SAFER. The governor said 200,000 households would benefit from the food relief support. Ayomiko Ajibola witnessed the distribution and now reports.
This food relief package, distributed by Governor Seyi Makinde in Oyo Town, contains bag of 10 kg rice, 5 kg bags of beans, 5 kg bags of yam flour, and 1 kg bottle of vegetable oil. While describing the present administration in the state as government that run open policies with integrity, Governor Makinde hinted that the state bought 37,000 bags of rice to complement the 3,000 bags delivered by the federal government to make a total of 40,000 bags to be distributed to 200,000 households in the state. Other palliative measures in the SAFER program, according to the governor, are low-interest loan for small and micro businesses, enterprise support to the youth under the Youth Entrepreneurship in Agribusiness Projects, provision of transportation subsidy, free healthcare to 5,000 pensioners, among others.
We are distributing what is produced locally, apart from the rice. We are supporting our local farmers.
As the governor kicked off the distribution of the food items in Oyo Town, his deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, SSG, including the Chief of Staff to the governor, simultaneously took charge of the distribution of such packages in Shaki, Erua, Iseyin, and Ogbomoso in that order. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
Meanwhile, hundreds of aged, children and other vulnerables have benefited from the free medical services by Corps Member 7 in Afijo local government area of Oyo State. Adebola Agbaje has the details.
The Corps members, through the Health Initiative for Rural Dwellers, helped their host communities to address some of their medical challenges. Apart from creation of awareness on the importance of good health, the Corps members carried out tests like monitoring of blood pressures, blood sugar, chest x-ray, and treatment of some ailments such as malaria, hypertension, diabetes, among others, free of charge. Some of the beneficiaries, while appreciating the gesture, said it will go a long way to improve their various health challenges.
We appreciate them. God bless you.
Giving us medicine, curing our illness.
The Oyo State NYC coordinator, Odoba Iben Uche, disclosed that the outreach was initiated for people in the rural community to have access to quality health service delivery.
To bring
the much design program of the NYSC to the community, so that we equally benefit for NYSC program.
This initiative was designed not only limited to Abuja local government alone, but throughout the country. From Oyo, Adebola Agbaje, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from here. It's back to Najatu in our Abuja studio.
Thank you, Charity. Former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan has been appointed Goodwill Ambassador of the African Agricultural Technology Foundation. The appointment was revealed in Abuja, with the new ambassador stressing the need for African leaders to adopt modern food production technology to eradicate hunger and poverty on the continent. Musa Aliu has details.
Population growth and drop in yield due to environmental factors are responsible for food insecurity in Africa. Reports indicate that average yields of cereal per hectare on the continent dropped by 59%. Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security says Nigeria is not exempted from the challenges.
We are having flooding, which is washing off a lot of farms. We are also having with it challenges of pests and diseases. Cooler birds are all over. So these are issues that we believe is negatively impacting on our capacity to deliver on our food security.
Africa needs to set targets on agricultural technologies for optimal agricultural performance. Africa cannot develop outside technology. Success of Africa's free trade agreement will depend on how African countries are able to leverage production.
ATF is committed to driving positive change in Africa's agricultural sector through its innovative approaches.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan in 2015 signed into law the Biosafety Bill, which paved way for the adoption of biotechnology and genetic engineering in food production and processing in Nigeria. Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
Sports Development Minister John Eno wants details of Nigeria's participation at World Athletics Championship in Budapest as Nigeria beach to fly the country's flag at this year's World Beach Volleyball Championship in Thailand. Bade Adele has details on Sports Update.
Minister of Sports Development John Eno has ordered a detailed report of Nigeria's outing at the just concluded World Athletics Championships in Budapest. Eno says the move is geared towards avoiding a repeat of their performance at subsequent international competitions.
We need to sit down as a ministry and try to underscore what may have happened, why we didn't do as good as we're supposed to have done. And under my watch as Minister of Sports, that the next events that are going to require athletes to travel to other countries to go and compete, I believe that will be more rewarding.
Nigeria failed to make the podium in Budapest for the 11th time out of 19 appearances at the Worlds. Meanwhile, Nigeria's men and women's under-21 teams will fly the country's flag at the 2023 FIVB Under-21 World Volleyball Championship to be hosted in Thailand next November, following their qualification. The women's team sealed their ticket after claiming silver at the just-ended CAVB Under-21 Beach Volleyball Championships in Morocco, while the men's team also qualified after finishing 5th at the championships. And finally, Isaac Nwanchukwu has set his sights on winning more trophies on the golf course after emerging the overall winner of the 2023 NBA Golf Tournament at the IBB International Golf and Country Club, Abuja.
I've been trying every day I can to see if I can practice at least 1 hour a day, and I'm sure that the hard work has paid.
The handicap 10 player grossed 76 with a net score of 66 to claim the title. With Sports Update, Bade Adeleye, NTA News.
Sports Update concludes nationwide. Thanks for watching. I'm Najatu Tijani.